Going to take a look at Disney here. Now we've got a couple trading sessions fresh off of that huge earnings beat, EPS beat by about 20 cents, and basically good news across the board. That's what gives you this nice gap up in here, even though we placed a doji on the day of 5.7. And then today you had that green candle in here up around 303 from the previous trading session. So what we care about the most when we're looking at Disney here, we want this nice whole number right here where this 200 SMA is trading, and that's going to be 100. That's going to be the support we care about the most. We have the fib levels on here. We'll talk about those here in a second on the weekly chart. But this $100 level right here that we're currently trading at, or the 200 SMA is currently sitting at, that is what we care about the most for a major support. So anything below 105, we're looking at this 100 for a major support for us in here. Now, resistance wise, what do we care about? Well, there's really nothing as far as confirmation of this 107 being a harsh resistance for us. You have a little bit of something right here if you go all the way back until January. And really, that's your only touch points you have in here on the daily chart. So that is going to be a little bit of resistance for us, but we care more about the 110s. And remember, Disney likes to overshoot those nice whole numbers by about a couple dollars or so. So we care about the 110s, but we're going to always overshoot it to about 112, 114. You can see Disney did just that here. If you go all the way back to March, if you go to January, even if you go all the way back to December, you can see we're always just kind of wrapped around that 110, but we're always overshooting at 112, 114, those areas. So we care more about 112, 114 than we do this 61.8 fib level here. Now, if we kind of go back out here on the weekly chart, you can see that our RSI is still neutral, although on the daily it was super overbought. That's what you're going to get when you get this huge green candle in here. And you can see it's basically you had a low in here on the week of 89 and a high of 106. So that's a huge move for Disney. It's a $105 stock, and you already have a $17 move in here just in 4 trading sessions. So that is a huge move in here, and your RSI is still not overbought on the weekly, but it's extremely overbought on the daily. So keep that in mind. Obviously, volume's coming with it here off of that earnings beat. Now, your fib levels here on the weekly chart, these are being respected a little bit more, but still we have to go all the way back here to basically about May of last year, where you had that nice resistance here of the 101.87s. And other than that, it really doesn't care about the 101.87s or the 107.3s. Only right here, a couple of touch points, and then you have to go all the way back basically 2 years ago to those few touch points in there. And so again, that's why we're focusing on that 200 SMA with the daily chart in here for our major support. And then above that, we're basically looking resistance wise at 110, 112, and then 114. You can see on the weekly chart how much of squeeze you had in here, basically from November of last year all the way until March of this year, basically a whole lot of nothing, right? Although you did have basically a less than a $15 move in here, which I guess is decent for Disney. Really just a really tight squeeze in here with your moving averages before you got that expansion in here. And now we're starting to revert back to the mean. And obviously this big green candle in here is helping us with that. If we go to the 30-minute chart in here, you can see what happened on the trading session in here today. Nice little pop here at the beginning of the day. Big pullback in here, sat right down on a 99-day EMA. And then obviously once Trump said, hey, it's a good time to buy stocks, and everybody started loading up, that's when you had that nice big run up in here. But we did pull back end of the day at 105.12. So again, we're going to look at the daily chart just so you can kind of see visually what happened this past week. This big gap up in here. We're looking at the 100s for our major support. Also, keep in mind, I forgot to mention this earlier, we have gaps to fill in here. So gap to fill 95, you got a gap to fill 92 and a half. So keep those in mind as we're working our way down and we start getting below that 100. Then we're going to be looking here at the 96.71 fib level. But we really care about this gap right here at 95, and then the gap down all the way down here to 92 and a half. So keep those in your back pocket as well as you're playing here in Disney. And again, 105, I'm sorry, 110, 112, 114. Those are the levels we're looking at as far as a big run up or resistance. And then support wise, 100 is going to be the key level in here in Disney. So if you guys like this video, be sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you're interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.